Hey everybody, what's up?
Welcome to Anti-Anxiety Hour. I'm your host, Illicit Ghost. Found your music on the internet, and I couldn't get enough of it. Now I wanna have a little chat, wanna know where your head is at. I just wanna talk to you, find out more about what you do. I just wanna hear your view, tell me more about what you do. I'm a Illicit Ghost, I'll be your host cause it's my radio. I just wanna hear your view, tell me more about what you do, what you do, what you do, what you do, what you do.
Welcome everybody, thank you for joining Anti-Anxiety Hour. Here we are yet again on Saturday. If you haven't yet, go follow the playlist, Anti-Anxiety on Spotify. Yeah, what a week it's been. I hope everybody is feeling okay. Definitely send questions here if you have any about music and mental health. Some of you this week were asking me about how I manage my mental health and my anxiety, so I'm going to tell you. I also wanted to mention that if you're out protesting, it's very important to take time to come home and to relax so that you don't burn out. And also try to take a break from the news. Try not to make it an all-day thing. It's just going to make you burn out. But yeah, you guys are brave and we will keep fighting for justice. So I'm going to tell you what I do to calm myself down. Basically, there's a lot of meditation happening in my life. It's morning, sometimes it's in the middle of the day, sometimes it's at night before bed. But mostly morning and night for sure every day. It also helps me a lot to have a support system, so therapists, friends that I can reach out to that are supportive. And also I've made like some very small lifestyle changes in terms of like what I consume. So I don't drink coffee anymore because I realize that it just like drives me up a wall and makes my anxiety spike a lot. Yeah, and exercise is important. If you're, we're all home all day because of COVID. If you can, and if you wear a mask, it's very important to go outside. Maybe take a little walk. If you have a backyard, exercise in the backyard. If you don't want to go outside, there are so many exercise videos on YouTube that you can use. If you want any recommendations, I will send them to you. So yeah, without further ado, we have a very special guest today on Anti-Anxiety Hour, whose name is Emerson. He's an artist, producer, just put out a new song in April called 24, and I'm going to bring him in right now. Oh, hello.
How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I just got out of the shower.
Oh, cool.
My sister moved earlier today, so.
You're what?
I was helping my sister move earlier today, so.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Yeah, sibling things. So.
Where are you?
I'm currently in Los Angeles, right north of the city.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in my bedroom. This is my bed. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk to you about 24. I love this song. I love the vibe. I was wondering what made you want to write this song, and if there was like a particular event or feeling that inspired it.
Yeah, actually, I was working my first job out of college, and it was like a 9 to 5, and it was like, it was a pretty good wake up call because I found myself going down this route that I didn't necessarily want to go down in terms of career and in terms of decisions. And I had a bit of a panic attack that day because I was like trying to like work. I was actually like trying to write the song, right? Because generally I'll start my songs with like working on the production. And then I was trying to just like get it all down in the DAW, uh, and then I just like nothing was happening, like it just wasn't working, and it wasn't sounding like I wanted it to, and I was just like, this is terrible, um, and so I like it kind of just the culmination of all the frustration of working a 9 to 5 and working in a job that I didn't want to work in, and just life in general, and kind of feeling that like early 20s existential crisis. It just boiled all up and it just came out, and I wrote the song and I felt much better, and then I went to the gym, and that was that day.
Nice.
So.
That's awesome. That's a cool story. It's like, it's amazing how music can like change our frame of mind so quickly. Like after we write something and you just get it out, and then you just feel like, I don't know, at least for me, it's like a weight has lifted.
Yeah.
So
I checked out your music, by the way. Wide Open, the first song on yours. That's a sick song. I really really like
thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Very baroque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, okay. So do you mind me asking what job you're doing?
I was I was a receptionist.
Okay.
It was sick, you know.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Just
I get
sitting
it.
at the front desk, I was like, "Hey, I'm a receptionist," and then because I had moved to Los Angeles originally to start doing writing and production, um, and I found myself kind of the starts of the project started because I found myself just not having enough time doing sessions for other people, and then slowly just came together, and I was like, oh, you know what, this is like in the back of my mind, I always had a gut feeling that I wanted to do, like wanted to write songs for myself, but I never had the confidence to put it out there under my own name. And then it just got to a point where I really just could not fight the urge any longer, because you know, I'm sure as you have experienced yourself, when you're an artist, you're an artist. It's just, there's like, you don't play the artist, you are the artist, you know. So
Yeah. So you started writing and producing for other people?
yeah, I did. Well, I don't know. I mean, do you want? We can get into like my background, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, because there are a lot of like musicians watching that are just getting started. So yeah, we would love to hear.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up playing. I started playing upright bass in the 6th grade in like orchestra, and then like that was my earliest introduction to music. So I was doing the classical thing for a little bit, and then when I got to high school, my teacher was like, "Yo, you should do jazz," and I was like, "Yo, I should do jazz," and that's then I started doing jazz. But this like that whole time as well, I always wanted to play guitar in a band, so I would always start these bands in high school that we just play at my local church coffee house, and you know, it'd be like a one-off show, and then yeah, and so I was just like playing in bands, and then it kind of got to a point where I was tired of depending on other people for to write songs to play. So I learned that Ableton was a thing my senior year of high school, because before I literally just thought that it was like GarageBand and that was it. That's the only music production software that exists.
Yeah.
So I downloaded Ableton, and then started making music in that, and just focused on production. And then when I was in college, I did like a chill wave project, or it was like trying to be a chill wave project, and then after that disbanded. I was like, shoot, like songs aren't that great, the productions aren't that great, so I'm just gonna like take some time and just learn from other people. So, and that's what I did. So
Cool.
yeah.
So you had, I'm guessing, like a mentor that taught you Ableton.
Not really. YouTube.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a great mentor.
listen. Yeah, I learned so much from YouTube. Like when it came to Ableton. At first it looked like so scary. I was like, oh my God, like I can't deal with this program. But once you like dive in and you really like get in the rabbit hole, I used to watch this guy named Sadowik. I don't know if you know him,
No, I don't.
but he was really good. He like took everything like super slow, and I was like, okay, this is a pace I can work with. But yeah, it's totally possible to just learn everything from YouTube.
Yeah,
Like
no,
it's
it
crazy.
really is. Well, and it was funny because I didn't understand that you could download like drum samples from the internet. So I thought that just all the stuff that I was hearing on the radio was like stock plugins from these different DAWs. So and then like that was like an epiphany that I had that I was like, oh wait, I can make my own sounds and like or I can download other people's drum sounds and or synth sounds and stuff like that. So that was another revelation. So yeah, YouTube doesn't teach that though. So
No,
yeah.
it does not. That's cool. Um, okay, so you were writing for other people. I, in my research, I saw that you have written for Gabriel Black and Mark Indigo. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. I was actually on tour with Gabriel in the fall. I was playing guitar for him.
Oh,
Um,
awesome.
yeah, it was fun. It was my first time on like a tour that I got paid for. I've done like the DIY tours before, where you do the house show in Roanoke, Virginia, and then you drive like 5 hours like Athens, Georgia, and do a house show there, and then by the time you're like out $200 or more, depending on how much gas it is at the time, then you're just sweaty, tired, and gross. So, you know,
Cool. Do you miss being on tour?
I do actually, and that's one of the things that being on tour is really nice because I like that you get a kind of a montage of locations and cities and cultures. Every city is very unique. Um, uh, you know, so it's nice. You get to kind of live a different story each night.
Cool. Um, okay, so then you started putting out your own stuff, and I've listened to your other songs. All sounds like amazing. Do you have anything new coming out?
I do. Keeping it under wraps right now. Just I signed
Okay.
an NDA for myself. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
No, I have a very dry sense of humor, so um, yeah, yeah, it's coming. It, probably in a month and a half or so. But
Cool.
it's yeah, we can go into details, but it's there. There's stuff out there that's coming. So.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about how you're dealing with creativity during COVID because, we're all kind of stuck at home. And I'm wondering if you've been like more creative or less.
Yeah, it's funny. I think there's an idea that floats around the creative community that a lot of creative energy comes from socialization from people, and your experiences that you live in life. It fuels your ability to write and to be creative, which is very true. I think what's been really nice about quarantine though and about isolation is that you get a chance to really dig in and identify the things that feel like you versus the things that don't feel like you. um, and I'm sure you've probably experienced this sometimes when you write songs. It's like, yeah, it's a cool song, it's a great song, but it's not a you song, or it's not your
Yeah.
song. um, and that's been something that I've really been focusing on, is just making sure that every word that I write comes from a place that's real, from a place that's not contrived. Authenticity is a very key value to me. Um, so yeah, I mean, and on top of that, making sure that um, that the words that I'm writing aren't written necessarily in the spur of a moment, off of a gut reaction, but more so reflective of an experience as a whole. So, yeah, I don't know. That's been kind of my quarantine life.
Are you recording from home?
I do, yeah. I'll show you that's my guitar. Okay, and yeah, that's my recording
Oh,
studio.
nice.
Beer bottle included.
You need the beer bottle, you know? Part of the
That
deal.
that was a Friday night activity left over from the single beer bottle. So
Okay,
that much. So yeah.
cool. So I'm just wondering if, like, so were you writing in a studio or were you like primarily working from home for
Oh, I
music,
do everything in my bedroom.
even before COVID?
Yeah, yeah. I think um, for my own stuff that I write, I try and keep it just very, very insular. And uh, living in Los Angeles, you don't really have the ability unless you have money to live or to have a studio outside of where you live. So my bedroom has kind of always been my studio, and it has its ups and its downs. Sometimes you feel like you can't escape the studio when you go to sleep, but also it's really nice because bedrooms are often associated with where you feel safe the most. So a lot of the creative risks that I've been taking lately have been coming from the fact that I do feel safe where I'm working right now, and I don't feel like there's an external factor in it, or a factor that's judging or making an opinion or forming an opinion based off of what I'm doing. So yeah, I have a tendency to not show songs to people until they're fully fleshed out. So that's been it kind of works hand in hand because I want to create a safe environment where I work, and then also show people things that I make from a safe environment. So
Right. I'm the same way. I just work primarily in my bedroom. I have gone into a studio, but it just feels impersonal, and it feels kind of strange to like be in a vocal booth, and it feels so final, and like I don't know, almost like there's no room for creativity, or like, I don't know, I get really like nervous just around other people. So for me, it like just works best to record in my room where no one can hear me and like not judge the ideas that I'm having.
do you have apartment neighbors, or are you where are you at?
So in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, yeah.
Yeah, I do.
So,
So it's like I'm under the covers
yeah.
to get ideas and final vocals done, which is, a little bit of a challenge, but it's fine. We got to do what we have to do.
Well, it's funny when I've always been curious. Do you record your vocals at a loud volume, or like do you have like a naturally loud singing voice?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. So a lot of my vocal layers entail screaming in a weird way. Not necessarily in the stuff that's well, 24 kind of had some of that, and Fool's Gold did too. I live in a house now, which is really nice. So my roommates kind of give me a little bit of leeway. They know that if I'm screaming, it's not because I'm mad or because there's something going on. It's because I'm literally just trying to record a song.
Yeah.
But I do wonder if my neighbors in my old apartment thought that there was something going on in my apartment every other day.
Oh my God.
Like if I was deranged or something.
Probably, people don't understand the process. If if you're not in music, you're like, what the hell? What are you doing?
Musicians do some weird things sometimes.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I'm well aware.
yeah, you know, it's yeah,
I
but
just
that
know I don't want anyone to hear me. That's I like I can't deal with like people knowing that people are listening.
yeah, but with that being said, I feel like when you're able to create a space that, or when you have the security that no one is listening into what you're doing, it allows you to express the emotion that you need to. It allows you to give the performance that you feel comfortable giving,
Right,
or
right.
feel comfortable printing and then sending out to the world. So.
Um, I wanted to ask you, and you don't have to answer this, but do you have any ways in which you manage anxiety or stress if you experience it at all?
Yeah. It's funny that your show is called Anti-Anxiety Hour because Instagram Live is my. I have panic attacks every time I go live. I've gone live twice in my entire time being on Instagram. The first, yeah, both times I'm like, I do the whole like,
Listen, it's hard.
yeah, cool, because when you play live in front of people and when there are people in the room, there is a way um, to command the audience attention, but also send out the intention that, hey, this is a safe space, and what I'm doing right now is a performance, and I'm asking for your respect and I'm asking for your attention. With Instagram Live, you're speaking into the void. So um, so I get really anxious when I go live, and I hate being on the internet, but I'm here.
Well, thank
Sorry.
you for being here. I'm honored that you came on.
No, I mean I'm more than happy to do this. Like it's easier that I'm talking to someone, but when it's just me, like I don't know how you do it, and I commend you for that. That takes a lot of guts. So.
Well, in the beginning, it was horrible. Like performing, I've done performances live, and it's like I would get so anxious. And even doing this show in the very beginning, I got so anxious. Like every time I do it, I have like a whole ritual before that
Hmm.
involves me. It's like I have to take a bath, I have to meditate for 30 minutes, or else I can't get on the camera. Like it's that intense.
Yeah, it's terrifying,
But
and
you know what? With as I do it more and more, it gets easier.
right. This has been a lot easier, I will say, than the
Okay.
past two, and you have also been a very accommodating host. So I thank
Thank you. You've been great. Like, I would have never guessed that any of that would happen to you. But,
I think it's funny because when I talk to people about anxiety, I think especially like my most anxious friends, I'll talk to them and they'll tell me about how when we first met, it was a meeting people makes them really anxious, and they freeze up and stuff, and I don't notice that they're anxious, or I don't see that they're anxious. Sometimes I can definitely feel when people are anxious, but I think that it's really fascinating to me how um, how anxiety manifests itself in different ways. Some people, when they're anxious, become super social, or they become super personal, or some people completely shut down. So it's a very nuanced thing. But going back to your original question about what I do to manage anxiety, I know we kind of went off topic.
no, no, it's fine.
Yeah. I I try and stay off my phone as much as possible. That's my number one thing, because I there's a lot of stimulation that occurs when you're on your phone. I don't have notifications on for anything. I limit myself to 10 minutes in the morning on Instagram, 10 minutes in the morning on Twitter, and then I'll try and turn it off for the rest of the day. That doesn't always happen or ever happen, but
Yeah, it's
but just
hard.
being cognizant of how much time you spend on on your phone. But also I've been, yeah, I mean, meditation has been really great. I've been diving a bit deeper into meditation these past couple weeks, mainly, but not because of anxiety, more because of because I've been taking a bit more of a contemplative journey these past couple weeks, and in terms of just figuring out, what my limitations are, what have been holding me back, where my pressure points are. I think it's what some new age healers refer to as blockages of chakra energy.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, but that, it's funny, that has actually helped from a preventative measure as opposed to a spur of the moment thing, because I find myself a lot more grounded, a lot more self-aware, a lot more cognizant of my physical manifestations of anxiety, or my physical manifestations of panic or fear. And what is anxiety besides literally a physical response to, it's your fight or flight symptoms. I don't know how to fix
It's
that.
true. Yeah. Have you ever tried Reiki?
It's funny that you say that, because I was just talking about that with someone the other day, but I personally have not. Are you experienced, or do you have?
Yeah, so I've been doing it for a while.
Oh, do
And
you heal people, or?
no, I get treated
Okay.
by somebody. And she's now doing virtual sessions.
Huh.
So I've found it very, very helpful.
How does that work? Because I thought
So,
it's a physical touch at.
right. Well, I'm about to find out this week because she just started doing virtual. But
Uh,
being without it for 3 months, like it's really like I've noticed such a change. Like I miss it so much. It would really like relax me. It would like center my energy. So I don't know. I'll see how the virtual goes, but it's something that really helped me. And also acupuncture. I don't know if you've ever done that, but
I have not. Yeah, I'm a bit cautious about things like acupuncture. One, because I had if I recall, I believe I had a friend in college that had an experience with that, where something that happened, they had to be hospitalized because of it. I don't know the specific details, but hearing that secondhand account, I was a little bit like wary. Um, but also, just I think from a philosophical standpoint, there I've been diving a bit more into different different Eastern religions. I naturally have a curious mind, but one of the things that I do remember reading was that uh, those things can help release blockages in your system, or blockages of energy, but it's or there's a belief that it's best to learn how to unblock your energy yourself, because you have a better ability to control where that energy goes. It's a very like I don't want to get too much into Tibetan Buddhism, but yeah. So
you do what you want. This is a free and safe space.
yeah, well, I'll I'll ramble then. Oh man, yeah, I can ramble if I get on a topic that I'm really curious about, but then yeah, then I
Okay.
shut down if I'm not interested in it. So
I mean, yeah, that's interesting. I've actually never heard of that, like actually being able to unblock yourself.
yeah, well, I mean that's what a lot of a lot of, especially in Tibetan Buddhism, that's what a lot of the practices involve. A lot of the preliminaries. There's depending on what school you're studying in, they have different preliminary practices that basically allow you to open up your energy channels but doing so in a way that is safe, because there is this belief that um, if you don't have control over where your energy is going, and we're talking about the metaphysical energy that whether you believe that or not, some people don't. Um, but there is this belief that if you release it and you don't have an ability to channel it, then it can be actually very dangerous, and can cause a lot of problems down the road. So.
Sorry, I'm just reading a comment from somebody. It says, I'd like to have your opinions about depression / suicidal tendencies. Thoughts, please. Well, if you go in my story, there is a number for the suicide hotline, if you need it. Depression, I will tell you that I do suffer from depression, and like what I was saying in the beginning, like doing all these things every day helps me, like the meditation, the exercise, the what else do I do? Just shutting my phone off an hour before bed, just trying to be very present. And then like everything else that we've been talking about in this live, those are, we're talking about how we manage, anxiety, suicidal tendencies. I'd say if you have access to a therapist, definitely reach out. If you don't, you can DM me and I will send you some resources. Yeah. Do you have anything you'd like to add? Or
Yeah, specifically on the topic of depression, in my personal experience, talk therapy has been one of the best things that has helped me with my depression. I also suffer from pretty chronic depression, but it's a lot of the times, or obviously, there's chemical imbalances in the brain that can occur, and that's, when they recommend getting medication. But it's important to be aware whether what your situation is, because a lot of the times it can be a very situational thing, and just talking about it can really help. So with that being said, I highly encourage talk therapy if you have that ability.
yeah, definitely talking. Just keep talking. I mean, to anybody, really. If you feel like you need to say something, say it out loud. Tell somebody. Sorry, I'm reading. Yeah, yes. You know what? Like, I've been through that. I've cried a lot. It's hard. But what you have to do, and I know it might be hard, is take action and reach out, keep talking. Just keep talking. That's my advice to you. Don't hold anything in.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
To add also to what you're saying, because one of the things that I saw is just, sometimes talking doesn't help, and in that case, it very well may be a physical thing. So it's something that is definitely worth talking to a doctor to, or a psychiatrist. Yeah. Also, physical health is really important to fighting depression. Make sure uh, the foods that you eat can be a very, very, very can have a very strong link to whether depression flares up or not. Probiotics are a very great way. They're primarily responsible for producing serotonin and dopamine. So pay attention to what your physical body is telling you as well, because sometimes it's not always mental.
Also, we have a comment. A big help for me is knowing that I'm not alone with feelings of anxiety and depression. Yeah, like you're not alone. A lot of other people feel this way. I mean, I feel this way. You're not alone. And you can always reach out, DM me if you need to talk. Journaling, yes, definitely. Yes, Elliot agrees with the foods. I agree too. I notice after I eat certain things, like I can spiral. Yeah, practicing breath work and yoga helps me. Yeah, there's a lot of different strategies. I think it's just a matter of finding the one that suits you the best. And maybe that's medication, maybe it's not. Maybe it's yoga, maybe it's not. Sometimes it's a combination. Um, yeah, I hope that was helpful to the person that asked that question. And feel free to reach out if you need to. Yeah, okay. So
It's a very nuanced situation for everybody. So exploration is important.
yeah. Oh, I wanted to ask you specifically if you have a good support system.
I do. My parents are great. I try and keep a regular contact with my family. Don't always see eye to eye on everything, but that's okay. Sometimes you don't have to see eye to eye to appreciate someone or to respect someone or to love someone. Actually, in all situations, you don't have to see eye to eye to love someone.
I'm sorry, I missed the last part.
Oh, in all situations, you don't have to see eye to eye to love someone. Love is very different than opinion. My sister and my brother-in-law as well. I'm sad that they're moving, but every Sunday, I make it a point to go up and hang out with them. We play a lot of Settlers of Catan, so
That's nice.
yeah. And then in terms of support system, as weird as this sounds, I think the I think everybody has the ability to be their own support system. Taking an objective step back and and removing yourself from the emotions that have a hold of your body is a really important thing. And being able to separate your identity from the emotions that you are feeling in a moment is very, very important.
Yeah, and I also think trying to be, I mean, I know with myself I'm so judgmental sometimes, and I think just trying to like remove the judgment of like, oh, I feel a certain way. Why are you feeling that way? I think just like being easier on yourself and being less judgmental and just allowing yourself and saying, hey, I'm having these feelings. It's okay, but let me take a step back and look at the big picture here. And also, what helps me is just every day thinking of, hey, what am I grateful for? And for me, it's usually just like my senses, like to be able to see, to be able to hear, just things like that.
My mom doesn't have hearing in one of her ears, and every day
Oh,
it pains me because I know that she's listening to everything out there in mono, and I'm just like, I can appreciate a good stereo mix, Mom. But be great. Yeah, gratitude is very important.
It is. So I usually have 3 questions that I ask every artist at the end. So I just wanted to ask you, what song is your anti-anxiety anthem, if you have one?
Slip Away by Perfume Genius.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
It's so good.
Sorry, I just need to like take a moment and just the new album is okay. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, listen, I think he might be one of the only artists that makes me really happy and really sad. Like, there is a song, oh my god, what is it called? It's on my extreme sadness playlist. It's called Learning.
I'm not familiar. Is that which album is that off of?
Let me check because I'm not sure.
To be quite honest, I was introduced to Perfume Genius about a year ago, and I only have listened to the Slipaway album and the most recent album, which
Oh,
oh my God just shoots me in the heart every single time.
yeah. He's so good.
Yeah.
This is on. Oh, the album is called Learning.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that was probably some of their earlier work, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Slip
wasn't.
Away. It's so good.
Yeah.
Whew. Yeah. Okay. Um, I also wanted to ask you, what are you most grateful for today?
Today, I'm most grateful for the fact that I got to hang out with my sister and brother-in-law. That I was able to get myself out of bed early and drive up in the 40 minutes and help them move. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm also grateful. I have a lot of things to be grateful for. The more that I think about it, the easier it is to identify. I'm really grateful that my basil plant is kicking butt right now. Look at, oh yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. It's really, tell you what, man. I don't think I would be able to like take care of a dog yet. I'm not at that level,
Okay.
but that basil plant, man, is kicking butt.
Have you ever heard of the Arrow Garden?
No, I'm not familiar. What's that?
Look it up because I have one, and you can grow like all these herbs.
Okay.
Like basil, thyme, um, lavender. Like you can plant anything in there, and it has like a very intense light on top of it. It's pretty small. It will fit in like a small place, but yeah, you can get like some serious herbs with that thing.
It's funny, growing herbs is is weirdly a way that I maintain connection with my dad because my dad was like always just had like basil and rosemary and or like oregano, just growing whenever of course I was always the one that had to water because that was my chore at my house, between mowing the lawn and and watering the plants.
Aw,
Yeah, but no, I
that's
mean it's like
nice.
basil is a plant that is very practical. So that's
It
for
can,
me for
yeah,
that.
it can go on most things.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, oh, and I just want to say to the person in the comments, like, don't be sorry. Like, you can share what you need to share here. Like, you're fine. I'm grateful that you are speaking to us about what you're feeling. You're totally appreciated. So don't be sorry. Um,
We
the
appreciate
last,
you, and we appreciate everything that you have shared. So.
yeah. Uh, the last thing I want to ask you is, what's your favorite thing in your room?
Hmm. I guess my basil plant.
Nice.
Yeah, it's somehow staying alive with minimal to no drainage. So
Cool. It's
no
a
root
miracle.
cause. Yeah, exactly. So
So I did get a few questions from the audience, and
um,
someone wanted to know, if you feel unmotivated, how do you get over it to like make music?
rest. Um, Rest is something that, especially in America, is highly undervalued, and it really it's really mind-boggling. And one of the things that I've been very very keen on is making sure that every Sunday I don't work on music. I don't do anything, like nothing music, nothing business, nothing. It's all. I'll go for a hike. I go to the beach. I hang out with my sister. I drink tea. I meditate. I also Sundays are a day of no alcohol. I don't, again, I don't really drink much besides that one beer that I just had last night. But yeah, and just making sure. I also turn off my phone generally most Sundays.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's really good.
it's important to disconnect because being connected all the time is a very very, very, very easy way to wear yourself out. You're always on, and you don't, and that's something that is, that even 10 years ago, we weren't always on. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's important for peace of mind, for sure.
yeah.
Someone else. Oh, well, you kind of answered this. How do you decide upon your music journey? Was it what you always wanted to do?
Yes, but I didn't let myself tell myself that until last year. And if your mind and your body and your spirit is telling you something, don't jump right into it. Take a bit of time, sit with it. Because it can also work on the flip side that your mind, your body, your soul might be telling you to do 3 different things all at once. But yeah, if it aligns with how you really feel, and and what you feel your passion and your journey and your I do it, within reason. If it's telling you to be a serial killer, please go get help. But
Yeah.
So, but yeah, your mind and it's funny, your mind and your soul aren't always telling you the right things. They don't have you always in best interest. So it's important to be discerning about what your spirit is trying to tell you, because it's not always what you actually need. So
Yeah, I agree. It's like being an artist is not an easy road. It's like you get so many obstacles in your way, like just on a daily basis. So I would say if it's something that you really want to do it, but just know it's like not going to be easy.
yeah,
Like anything else,
nothing is easy. Yeah, and nothing is given. That's the most important thing. Never take anything for granted.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
For what?
For obvious reasons.
Right. Yes.
And some not so obvious reasons, but yeah.
Yep.
What about you? Like,
how did I decide on this glamorous life I'm living?
Yeah, and astronomical prices for rent in Brooklyn.
Oh my God. It was kind of the same thing. Like I grew up thinking that it was never a possibility. I never let myself really believe that I could do it. But then, I started to realize that I was unhappy doing other things I was doing. And I decided it was time to give it a shot because I didn't want to get old and then regret not trying. And I didn't want to just live a life of doing something because it's what I'm supposed to do. And I just always felt connected to music. And it's the one thing in the world that I absolutely love doing. And I just felt like I'm going to try.
Yeah. I feel like most people that are that own up to the fact that are true artists, it's never been something that they just decide on. You don't just wake up one day and say, "Oh, I'm going to be an artist today." So yeah, that's interesting. There's a lot of similarities between artists. So.
There's a lot of what?
Oh, a lot of similarities between artists. I have a mumbling tendency. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, so thank you so much for being here and for sharing your story. I really appreciate it. Yeah, if you have anything you'd like to add or tell everybody, feel free.
Yeah, arrest the cops that murdered Breonna Taylor.
Yes.
All I gotta say. So
Agreed.
Yeah. So, cool. Yeah, and that's it. That's all I got.
Okay. Well, on that note, I'm gonna leave everybody with 24.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Of course. Thanks for being here.
Have a good day.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining in, asking questions, sharing your stories. I appreciate you. All right, guys. Have a good Saturday.